Look, if you're a makeup lover, you gotta give it up for MAC. You cannot disrespect this brand because they have been there, they have done that, they have seen it all, they have revolutionized the way we look at color in makeup, the way we look at undertones. They really are the queens, and we're gonna look at their holiday collection today with me, Rebecca. I am an over 20-year veteran of fashion and beauty journalism on the reporting side, and I have worked with and written about some of the biggest names in the industry. I have brought not fit for print beauty here in a digital live version for you to have a little beauty magazine that you can look through, so to speak, every day or so here on YouTube. Okay, MAC Holiday is filled with all sorts of good stuff, including bundles and lip looks and all the things that we love from MAC that you can get as stocking stuffers for yourself. Don't forget yourself or your loved ones around the holidays. Don't forget teachers too. A lot of teachers would love that. MAC is always a good gift. They just deserve our respect. And I know they've gone up and down through the years, but they still are kind of the OG. So I'm going to look at some of the most prominent parts of their holiday collection, and we are going to try them on. Namely, this slightly verging on a gimmick, but I'm so interested in it. This Jelly Slime All Over Highlighter. This is in the shade Gift of Gold 24K Copper. It is limited edition and $33. Now, everything I show you here, we're going to swatch live here in the studio lighting, but I'm going to take it all outside also into the warm California sunshine. So you'll see this all. This is a jelly hybrid highlighter that is for the face and body, but not the eyes, MAC says. And we have discussed this so many times on this channel. Oftentimes, the Food and Drug Administration here in the United States, very big country, will say that certain shades are not good on lips or eyes, meaning they don't know if they could irritate, they don't know if they could stain, use at your own risk. And so the brands, of course, put that out there. They don't want to be involved in any shenanigans. So use this on your eyes at your own risk. Frankly, I probably would. I don't know how brave you are, but I just wanted to say that. So this is $33, and it is a jelly slime. It is kind of weird, kind of gross, kind of fascinating. I am wearing it now, and you'll see it in the demo. Let me just show you here live. When you put it on my finger, you see how intense that is? And you almost think, I can't wear that. That's ridiculous. I'll look like I'm going to a rave in 1994 or something. But when you put it on, it is multi-chrome and crazy. But when you spread it out and really kind of rub it in, it's less glitter and more kind of foil. There's no sharp glitter particles. It doesn't dry and have glitter particles fall down, and it's not sticky either. It's really interesting. As you rub it in, look at that. It's just kind of like a foil. And it's not gross like you'd think, and you can put this anywhere you want. I'm even wearing it on the lips right now, which we'll talk about in the demo. It's a really interesting, and it only comes in right now, in this holiday edition, that shade, and it is $33. Okay, we also have some eyeshadow palettes in addition to all the bundles and the lip looks. So I picked up 2 of the eyeshadow palettes. There might be more available, but I think it was just this 2. Each one are limited edition and $34, but they're interestingly enough, they're new shades. And for MAC, that's crazy. Because I've always said that the only real brand that we should get away with having repeats is MAC, because they've made everything there is to make, you know? All right, but we have the Treasured eyeshadow palettes in All the Riches and Rose to the Occasion. Both are neutrals. This one with jewel tones, and this one is neutrals with rosy tones. Rose to the Occasion, All the Riches, new shades, limited edition, $34 each. And I think they're actually really pretty. I want to say this is cool tone and this is warm tone, but not really. When MAC says neutral, I do respect that. They have pioneered how we look at colors and makeup. And I think these are pretty right down the middle. You can't quite tell if a shade goes warm or if it goes cool. They're pretty even-keeled neutral. Usually things that are called neutral are actually warm. And in these palettes, I would say things that are called neutral are maybe even a little bit cooler leaning with the jewel tones and such, but we will be trying both of those on. And they are, I think these are the three kind of crowning jewels of the holiday offerings from MAC. Let's look at some of the matte shades, and then we'll look at live, and then we'll see them all outside. So the matte is really buttery and soft, and goes on very prominently. Of course, deepest and darkest, where I put my finger first, but then it shears out and doesn't skip. It's a really nice shade. Here is a slightly more satin shade in this kind of a brownish maroon. That's got a little more satin than matte to it. Very pretty. And here is, I'm wiping my hands off on the towel I got here. Here is, we have a gold and a silver kind of highlighty shade there. And I'll do those as live swatches. And those are really quite pretty. And there's no fallout with these. You know, MAC does it right. Let's look at the other palette really quickly. I know I didn't do all of it, but you'll see it swatched outside. This one has a few more very reliable, nice, creamy matte shades in this one. And I'll put those right here. Just like this shade here, similar composition. And then we have some nice kind of metallic satiny shades there. Really reflective and really pretty. And here is like a little kind of inner corner shade there, kind of almost golden shade. And those are all mixed up. Let's do this in a little bit more of an organized fashion. Let's go outside into the warm California sunshine. We have all the riches in neutral jewel tones on the left, laid out as it is in the pan. And then rose to the occasion, neutral rosy tones, also as it is laid out in the pan. And I think I put the highlighter above it. It's been a while since I made those swatches in the sunshine, but I do believe the highlighter's above it. You can't miss it anyway. But that highlighter is so interesting because it just feels like a glitter bomb, but as you rub it in, it's just not at all. I mean, there are little particles of glitter, but it's much more foiled. And it would look really pretty on the shoulder blades if you are so inclined. Those days for me are kind of over, but you know what I mean. Maybe for you they're not. I mean, why not? The packaging on these is also beautiful. MAC does a good job on packaging, especially lately. Just kind of nice, reflective. And it is not just a look. You can feel it kind of waving there. We're seeing that a lot in packaging, aren't we? Reminds me of the Natasha Denona packaging on the purple palette. The Roxa palette that she just did is a little bit like that. And there was another one that I said kind of undulated. I'll have to remember what that was, where the packaging kind of felt like it had a movement or a wave to it. It's really pretty. All right, I want to go now and get into the demos. We're going to try both eyeshadow palettes and this crazy all over jelly slime. I'm really excited about it. Look down below for information on where to purchase or just check it out. And where I can, I always try to put stuff up here in YouTube shopping so you can kind of shop while you watch. Make sure that you also check out down below for information on how to follow me over on TikTok. And I'm on Instagram where I do all my swatches. And of course, you know, threads, and where you can give super thanks. But also check out our membership here on YouTube. It's only $4.99 a month. Money goes back into the channel, and we have weekly lives. We have a lot of fun with that. But if free is more your style, check out our Facebook group, which is completely free. Helen is running that. Huge thanks to Helen. Go ahead and check that out. All those links and all that info is down below. Do make sure you're subscribed, and let's go to the demos. Let's start by looking at this Jelly Slime All Over highlighter, because it's beautiful and yet gross at the same time. Therefore, incredibly intriguing. Like kind of train wrecky, but kind of like glittery train. Okay, it says all over highlighter, but then kind of warned you it's not really for the eyes. That's one of those FDA warnings. Do with it what you will. We won't put it on the eyes. It can probably dry and fleck into the eyes a little bit, so let's stay away from that. But I did see, you could put it on your body. We're not doing that here. And I did see them use it on lips. So let's use it on lips and cheeks. It's going to be a bit much, but it's a holiday collection. And my job is to show you this stuff. Even if I admit I probably won't wear it out myself. Is it jelly and slimy? Yeah. And is that kind of weird? Yeah. And kind of gross? Yeah. But also kind of fun? Yeah. Also, yeah. Okay, so Actually, not as garishly, you know, on the finger when I go to swatch it, and even in the swatch, it was like, you know, it was kind of over the top. But when I apply it to the skin, it's actually kind of very pleasantly, that's interesting. Look, it's not all that glittery on the skin. See that? So when I turn, it's definitely picking up the light as a highlighter would. And see, when it's on without spreading it out, it's, you know, a glitter bomb, right? But when I just really tap it in and spread it out, it's actually quite pretty. It is glittery, but it's very kind of flat particles of glitter. They're not sharp and they're not falling everywhere. So it's not kind of typical glitter. It's more like, I want to say it's little pieces of foil almost. And that's interesting because I don't see it as much. You know, it's how the light plays. I see it more on this side of my face than the other. Let's try it on the lips. Because they, oh, that's pretty. Maybe needs a little bit of liner. That's really pretty. And I'm going to have to go wash my hands because, you know, it's jelly slime. They ain't kidding. Okay, but now that I'm a little bit glittery, and I'm glittery, but it's like little pieces of foil because it's, you know, glitter in and of itself feels sandy and small, and these are kind of bigger and more reflective. Like, I wish I could do this on my nails. You know what I mean? It's really pretty. All right, we're going to do 2 eyeshadow looks. Only the second will have the benefit of mascara and liner. Let's go ahead and start with the cooler of the two, which is All the Riches, neutral and jewel tones. So they don't, MAC is very careful about how they do their undertones. So they're saying neutral, and I'll give them that. You know, I want to say, oh, that's definitely cool tone. Oh, that's leaning a bit warm. MAC says neutral, and when MAC says neutral, I'll listen to them. So let's do this jewel tone, neutral, All the Riches look, and then we'll do Rose to the Occasion as our second look, okay? All right, let's see. How about starting here with this? And if you're playing along at home, this is a Rephr number 13 Max. I'm doing that in the inner corner too, just lightening the eyes with this shade here. There are much more kind of plain mattes in the other plain mattes, you know, matte mattes. You know what I mean. Just pretend you do. Okay. Let's, these 2 shades, I know we're really probably quite anxious to check out. So let's go ahead and do the blue on this eye. Maybe we'll do the maroon on the other eye. Ooh, that packs a punch, but blends beautifully. I mean, MAC, give it to MAC, right? Definitely packs a punch, but blends beautifully. And this shade is definitely a jewel tone. Is it blue? Is it green? Is it teal? You tell me. This is not for me necessarily the colors I would have chosen for me. I'll do the red in this eye. We're going to take it off anyway. The red, it's not red. It's kind of a, again, a burgundy kind of jewel tone. These are leaning neutral to cool, and I'm always attracted to the look of that. But it you know, it does give me the look. I joked in my Mario, Makeup by Mario video that it looks like I've been in a bar brawl somewhere. I tend to look a little bruised. But I just want to try these on for those of you who love these neutral to cool leaning shades to see if they work. And I know I have 2 different eye looks, but I wanted to try out both of those deeper, darker shades. And why don't we give this golden neutral, but, you know, leaning a bit warm shade over here. I'm putting it on with the fingers, but this is really kind of just a metallic shade, and it would be fine applied with a brush as well. And then using another one of my fingers, there's the silver shade. There we go. Ooh, now that, I really like that look though, actually. That's really kind of outer space looking. In a really 1960s outer space Star Trek way. My mind goes to the weirdest places, I know. But I think that's really, yeah, it's really like retro futuristic. You guys know what I mean, right? And this one is pretty. I don't know if that's a look I would necessarily put together, that maroon and gold. Please remember, and there's always new people here, I'm a journalist. I'm not a makeup artist. So a lot of times I'm not, if I can do a look that you like, I'm thrilled. And often I know I can do that. But for the most part, I'm trying out the shades. So it's not always like a cohesive look that I want you to be copying at home. I just want to see how these shades perform. And we've tried so many of them. Here is a nice little kind of pearly metallic that we could do in the inner eye on both. Okay, so I actually do like this look. Like I said, Star Trek-y, retro, futuristic. This look, I don't know that I would have put in those, confident. I don't know if I would have put those two shades together, but they do work beautifully. And I'm kind of excited about this Jelly Slime all over highlighter, only because it's weird. And you know I love a gimmick. And this is, it's kind of verging. There's somebody aggressively gardening out there, so ignore it. We'll just all pretend like we don't hear it, because they're not going to stop all day. You guys know I love a good gimmick, and this Jelly Slime all over highlighter, even in name alone, Jelly Slime, is really verging on gimmick, so you know. I'm like, what? What do I hear? Slime? Gross. Let me try it. Okay, so I am going to go wipe this off. I think I'll leave the lips alone. Oh, maybe we'll put a little liner on to see what we think of that. And then I will come back and let's put on Rose to the Occasion, which is our neutral, you know, new shades that are kind of neutral and rosy shades. Stay right there. When I took off that first Jewel Tone eyeshadow palette, I did add a little bit of this Sweed liner. I'll put it down in the description box. It is, you know, I love Sweed Beauty. And I added it just as a liner, just kind of colored in a little. I thought that added a little bit to what we got going here with this all over kind of jelly slime on the lips. I'm fascinated with this stuff. I'm going with the fact that I love it, I think. I am. Okay, but let's try on the Rose to the Occasion palette here from MAC Holiday Collection. I'll start with this really fat and fluffy Rephr 33 brush. Oh, what should we do? What should we do? Let's go ahead and go in with this real purpley shade. Boy, we've had a lot of purple. This isn't what I'd call a purpley palette, but we have had a lot of purple this season. I love this Rephr brush. Have you guys tried this, the 33? It has this kind of flat, it's kind of flat, but it's also fluffy. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the exact same look with the other shade on the other eye. And this blends beautifully. I actually like this palette a little more. That's just personal preference. Those jewel tones that lean a tad bit cooler, these are neutral, but that lean a tad bit cooler just really aren't my jam, but I wanted to see if they performed well for you guys. It's just personal preference. But sometimes our personal preference is really driven by what looks good on us, right? Okay, that there. And let's see, we use those two. I'm just kind of trying to use all of these shades. I'm going to stick with the same brush, and I'm going to go into, I did this with a finger on the last one, but I want to show you there's no fallout with these shades if you use a brush. Now, there it is put on with a brush, and isn't that pretty? Almost like a little bit of a duochrome shift. But I will admit that if you use your finger, you're going to get more of a blanketed coverage, you see, and more of a deeper, more opaque coverage. Just depends on what you like. And of course, since we use the purple shade on the other eye, I want to use this shade here, which has a little bit of a lilac leaning. Ooh, that's pretty. Two different looks so far. What do you think? I prefer the shades in this palette. You might not, because you might be a rosy paletted out. There certainly are a lot on the market. Okay, we've used almost all of the shades. We haven't used this, but we don't necessarily need to, because, I mean, I'll put it on here, but we've seen the way that's working in terms of the formula. And then here is our real light shade, which I could have used as a base also, but instead on both looks, I think I'll just put that into the center of the eye. Here's two very distinctly, in my opinion, different looks from this palette. And we did two distinctly different looks from this more jewel tone palette before. I'll tell you, if you want to try anything, first of all, the eyeshadow palettes, let's see, $34, not bad for 6 really well-performing MAC shades, innovative formulas, useful, nice solid casing, not too thick, travels well, very holiday looking. I think they're good. I think the star of the show, I'm really going with this, and I was undecided before, is really this Jelly Slime All Over Highlighter. When you get it, you're like, what am I supposed to do with this? Yuck. And yet when you use it, it's fun. It blends easily. It's pretty. It's not glittery. It's much more foiled. And even though it's a copper shade, I think it's flattering on every skin tone. They say not to use it on the eyes. Use your best judgment. I know it's leaving me a tad bit glittery on the face, but I'm not sticky. And I think it's kind of fun. I think it's kind of a fun way. Let's put it this way. Though it's a bit glittery as such, it's kind of a fun way to do a glittery look around the holidays. I don't feel like a disco ball, but there's definitely, when the light hits it, a little bit of a glitter effect. But it's not slimy, it's not sharp, it's not falling all over. You know, I have had throughout these holiday reviews just like glitter all over everything. But this isn't producing that kind of glitter fallout. I think it's strangely the pick I would make, but take a look through what they have, the lip shades and all that. Now this isn't just about me just yapping at you. I want to hear what you guys have to say too. I care very deeply about this community. So let me know if you're picking up something from MAC this holiday season and what you've picked up in general. It's been such a pleasure to continue, and we got more, reviewing all of these new holiday releases. So stay tuned in here, share, like, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.